the Mindbender Mental Performance Podcast.
Yes. Indeed, we welcome you back to another prestigious episode of the Mindbender Mental Performance Podcast. Prestigious, maybe that's a bit rich. Maybe that's a bridge too far, but we are here and we are showing up. The only podcast that former Licey baseball great Enrique Bayrenes says makes players fuerza en la cabeza. El lugar es aquí, el momento es ahora. Wherever you are, the place is here. The time is now. The muzzle mane is still there, the old face fleece, the lip doormat, the upper lipper still in effect. Am I going to shave it? We'll see. We got to give the people what they want. That's why we're here. This podcast is about taking it from the clouds to the dirt where it can grow. So it's about showing up. It's about being present and knocking down those mental and oftentimes emotional barriers that get in the way of consistent, confident, and controllable performance outcomes. We talk about it all the time. Today, we're continuing to break down the 10 pillars of mental performance mastery created by the great Ichabod Kane, a dear friend and now a colleague, a guy that I work with, and the same system, along with my own personal experience and life experience, that we use to help players with the mental and oftentimes emotional barriers that get in the way of the consistent, confident performance outcomes. Today, we're diving into pillar 3 of our breakdown of the 10 pillar system, episode 133. We're diving into pillar 3, focus and awareness today. Listen, distractions and negative self-talk aren't just, these little monsters that we allow to have a voice. Right? The dragons, the dragons that are in the cave in our brain that we fear to enter, but oftentimes the cave we fear to enter holds the treasures that we seek. So they're the things that come and contribute to poor performance execution. The athletes who succeed don't do so because they've somehow dodged the challenges. They win. Number one, win what's important now because they've developed a skill set that lets them face the challenges and still stay locked in. You can head up to the cave where the dragon is who's hoarding the gold, and you can shrink in fear of the all too real fact of the dragon, or you can face him. That's where focus and awareness comes in. With these skills, you train yourself to stay in the moment. You're cutting out the noise. You're reducing the decision fatigue. You're staying sharp, especially when the stakes are high, because the best players play the best when it means the most. Let's get into some of the drills and the mindsets that build the focus and awareness into the unbreakable habits. Because really, your dreams and goals, your life is just a total sum of your todays. So a thing to help that we use to get guys locked in, concentration grids. Let's start with a drill that really hammers home focus and that gift of blankness that you can get from extreme locked-in focus. Concentration grids. It's a tool to train your brain to tune out distractions. You can find the grids that we use and put them onto your phone. You can find those at briankane.com/C grid. That's Charlie grid, okay, for the C. briankane.com/C grid. But let me break it down. This grid is a series of random numbers, and your job is to find and cross out each number in order 00 through 100. Now, you can break these grids up and make them time appropriate. If we're working with a UFC fighter, he's going to do 5-minute concentration grids to mimic that 5-minute rounds. If you're talking about a ball player, you can do a shorter one to mimic the duration of an at-bat. For a pitcher, you can do grids that will be equal to the time that will be what it is normally on average for you, a confrontation versus the hitter. Boom. So be sure that when you're on that grid, your mind can't wander. You're staying on task. You're getting that gift of blankness. You're exercising that mental muscle one number at a time. Another thing we always say, and if you work with us, you know, today plus today plus today plus today plus today equals your goals. That's a powerful mindset. The best players know that all they can control is this moment, this play, this pitch, this shot. Stack those moments up, and that's how you get consistent high-level performance. Don't get lost in yesterday's screw-ups, yesterday's non-executed moments, yesterday's fascinations, or tomorrow's worries. Just focus on winning today. Then do it again tomorrow. Prepare, perform, reflect. That's the game. Another thing to ask yourself is check in. Check in, all in. You can do this with your guys. Those are called callbacks. So we say check in, then right back, all in. Another thing we use is 30-second drill. If your mind starts drifting, here's a tool to snap it back, the 30-second drill. Give yourself 30 seconds to check in with yourself and then go all in. This isn't just half-ass focus. It's telling yourself, I'm here, I'm present, I am where my feet are, I'm present over perfect in the moment. Use it as many times as you need to throughout the game, throughout your day, throughout practice, in school. Every time you reset for those 30 seconds, you're sharpening your focus. Another thing that's really important is along in my cornerstones awareness strategy plan, part of this awareness here is recognizing signal lights. We talk about your signal lights all the time as part of our release routine. When the shit hits the fan, when adversity comes, and it will, what series of steps do you do to help you flush it, release it, and bring you back to the present moment? And that awareness is knowing when you're on track and when you're starting to lose control. Again, like a traffic light system. When you're in green lights, you're in control, you're present, you're processing, and you're positive and productive. These are the 3 P's of green lights: present, process, positive. This is where you want to be. What's a yellow light? When things start slipping, you hit yellow, maybe your self-talk gets negative, or maybe your focus starts wavering. Red light is the danger zone, right? You're down in the abyss. You've lost control. Maybe you're pissed off, you're frustrated, you're mentally checked out, got bad body language, you're complaining, you're getting defensive. When you're in the red, you need to reset. So rule number 1, you must be in control of yourself before you can control your performance. Rule number 2, you have very little control over what happens around you, but total control on how we choose to respond to it. So this traffic light system, it keeps you in check. When you know what green feels like, it's easier to catch yourself slipping into yellow or red and take action before you spiral down into the abyss. You know, oftentimes it's like we're driving a car and we can take the off-ramp, but we decide, no, I'm just going to floor it. And everybody in the car is going, hey, man, let's get off. And you're flooring it. You're going off the cliff. Take the exit ramp, right? So green light, you're in control. You're giving yourself the best chance for success. Yellow light, you're losing control. You're starting to lose the focus, and mentally, conducive to optimal performance. And red light, you're out of control and you're beating yourself in your performance. So remember your 30-second drill. Remember today plus today plus today. And it's E plus R equals O. Event plus response equals outcome. And if you haven't read Coaching the Mental Game by Harvey Dorfman, I recommend it. The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, awesome book. And also the great interviewer Cal Newport wrote a book called Deep Work, awesome books. A couple things to think about when it comes back to being able to recognize your signal lights, the awareness, going through your grids, building that focus and awareness into your day-to-day process. Another thing that's really important to think about is, what is your body language like? Are you carrying yourself like somebody in control? What's your focus like? Where is your mind? Are you locked in or are you wandering? Are you building yourself up with your self-talk or are you tearing yourself down? How about the attitude, effort, and emotions? Are you calm and composed or are you rattled and frustrated? So be aware of what's going on around you and how you perceive yourself in the world around you. That's your mindset. What is happening around you? Are you reacting or responding? Are you staying neutral or allowing things outside of your control to affect your performance? Being aware of these areas is crucial. It's how you stay grounded, recognize your signals, and get yourself back to green. Another great thing to think about is the next 200 feet. So if I want to drive across the country, right? I have a car. I've got the tires. I've got the gas. Maybe it's an electric. I've got the charging stations planned out, right? I got everything I need. Can I leave at midnight tonight? The only thing that I actually need really to get me there with all the other things in place are the headlights. I can't drive across country leaving at midnight without headlights. And the headlights shine the next 200 feet. So oftentimes we have this journey, this great distance, the gap from where we are to where we want to be. That's the journey. And we freeze in horror and fear of the all too real fact that we're going to have to pay the price and we're going to have to suffer to get what we want on the journey. But really, once we have the plan mapped out, we got to go the next 200 feet. You can only see 200 feet in front of you, but that's all you need to reach the destination. In sport, same thing. You don't need to see the whole game. Just focus on the next breath, the next play, the next pitch. That's the next 200 feet. You want to win? What's important now? That's how you get there. Another thing we use, 3 keys to keep it simple. When things get complicated, the 3 keys bring it all back to the basics. This approach used by legends, but one guy in particular, oftentimes, and if you've seen this on the MLB Network, dear friend of the program, the great mayor, Sean Casey, is all about staying grounded and not overcomplicating things. Case, in his back pocket, would put a 3x5 note card in a little Ziploc plastic baggie, or if you want to go mod cons, you can laminate the thing. He'd pull it out before his at-bat, after going through his at-bat routine, which started in the 4-hole. And right before he walked up, 10 feet tall and bulletproof, barrel in the dominant hand, seeing, feeling, and hearing the dirt underneath his feet as he takes possession of the batter's box to hunt and attack pitches in the zone, buttery backspin barrels, tension-free, he'd look at that card and say, see ball, be easy, hammer it. Those are 3 keys to keep it simple. Maybe yours can be breathe, let it eat this pitch, right? Maybe it's I control what I can control, let go of what I can't. So stay present. This moment is all you need to worry about. Focus on what you can control. Everything else is noise. Keep a positive, productive mindset, above the line growth mindset. Your thoughts guide your actions. So keep them in check. You have control and influence over attitude and emotions and how we respond. Stay neutral. What is the skill of focus and awareness? Let's be clear. Focus and awareness aren't just traits you're born with. And again, nobody's born mentally tough. It is a skill set that you develop. Focus is about keeping your mind on what matters, and awareness is about recognizing when your focus slips so you can bring it back. These skills give you a huge edge in life and competition because they let you respond instead of react. Control your emotions. Stay sharp when others might lose their edge, right? Now, I think with every pillar, it's important to talk about the myths and the mistakes. One of the biggest myths about focus that it's just about intense concentration. But focus isn't about tunnel vision. It's about the ability to shift your attention where it's needed. Another myth is that awareness will just happen. Truth is, awareness, it takes constant practice. Practice is where the action is. The separation's in the preparation. Without it, you won't notice when your focus drifts. And by the time you do, it might be too late to course correct. Maybe you already ran the ship into the rocks. But even then, even a shipwreck can turn out to be a prosperous voyage in the end. How about the 3 keys to keep it simple? Let's bring those 3 keys back for our first drill. Break down each practice, game, or situation every time. Well, better how. That brings awareness. Success and also failure leaves clues. And failure is not a person, it's an event. Failure is fuel. And for all those who are performing and have fear, let fear drive you. Fear can be a powerful emotion. Fear causes you to get your ass up an hour earlier and start preparing for your day. Fear causes you to do the thing that you need to do even when you don't want to do it. Don't neglect. Fear is a powerful thing to help you not neglect the easy things to do. And what are the easy things to do? We're live. The easy things to do are things that you can do. But we talk about this. If it's easy to do, it's also easy not to do. So make sure you're staying present, you're staying focused on what you can control and keep it positive. You can use mantras or self-affirmations in a game in any high-pressure situation. Think of your BFS. How do you choose confidence? BFS. Big breath, big body language, great focus, great self-talk. I compete with big body language and choose confidence. I breathe, let it eat this pitch. I hunt and attack pitches in the zone. Things always work out for Kowalski. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. Amen. Do your concentration grids. They really help you lock in. It's a simple drill, but it trains you to focus in the middle of the chaos. Don't forget about the next 200 feet. It's the start that stops most people. So stay grounded, go the next 200 feet, give yourself grace. And this next 200 feet stops you from getting overwhelmed. Sometimes we get overwhelmed from the gap from where we are to where we want to go. Don't get overwhelmed, just go the next 200 feet. Recognize your signal lights. Recognize when you're in green, and recognize what that feels like, right? Recognize, start each day or each game or each moment by identifying what green, yellow, and red feel like for you. When you're in a green light, what is your body language, focus, and self-talk? When you're in a yellow and red light, what is your body language, focus, and self-talk? What are your attitude and emotions like? What are your energy levels like? How'd you prepare? Then practice recognizing these signal lights in real time. When you feel yourself slipping into a yellow or a red, take a moment, reset, and get back to green. How do we do it? Physical action, breath on a focal point, verbal trigger. That's our release. You're at a bat, bad call, you're down 0-2. Good. You're the best two-strike hitter there is. Implement the two-strike approach, right? So first, physical action. Step out. Maybe you got the Bruce Bolts. Maybe you're old school. You're going Franklin. Maybe you got the Evo Shields. Bat right here. Batting gloves. Strap off, strap on. That means we're releasing the last pitch and strapping back on for this one. We're going to look at the left field foul pole because left field foul poles let it go. That's our breath on a focal point. Right? Then we step in, verbal trigger. See ball, be easy, hammer it. And then we're down 0-2 because that's the scenario I've created here. And now we're implementing our two-strike approach. We're getting on the plate a half inch. We're getting on the plate, choking up a half inch, not changing our swing, hunting the heater, banging the hanger. That's a two-strike approach. That's awareness. That's a way to slow things down, because if we want to slow the game down, we first have to slow ourselves down. If we want to be in control of our performance, we first have to be in control of ourselves. That's our quick breakdown of Pillar 3 today, focus and awareness. With these skills, you not only stay in the game mentally, but you'll also be ready to handle whatever the competition throws at you. Whatever happens at school, whatever happens in a relationship, whatever happens, with family as we approach the holidays here. And yes, folks, I am wearing the Ultraman jacket today. Why? Not something I bring out on the regular, but today marks the Tuesday. We are now 11/12/2024 in the year of our Lord 2024. On Sunday here in Arizona, in the Flatland Desert Oasis of Arizona, the Ironman Arizona Endurance Experience comes to town. My boy BK will be participating. My boy Elvis Tasca, aka the Jetty Jetterson, will be participating this weekend. So really looking forward to getting out there. I think my boy Andrick Jones might come into town and break it down here at the Mindbender house, and then head out and watch a little bit of the Ironman, get inspired for his journey as a elite level pitcher. So yeah, looking forward to that. Elite level person and pitcher, I should say, because before anything, he's a person before he's the pitcher. Remember, better people make better players, right? So on the next one, we're going to be talking about Pillar 4, episode 134. And you might be thinking, man, I saw the YouTube page. There's only 35 shows on there. That's because I put in the intro and the outro to the podcast. And before that, I'm just playing hits on there. So they got banned from YouTube. If you want to see the other 100, you can go to nofilter.net. and go ahead and get that content for free. Drop in an email, drop in a password. It's free. Boom. If you're having trouble getting in, just refresh the page. It'll pop you in there. But next time on Pillar 4, we're talking self-control and discipline. Focus and awareness get you locked in, but it's the self-control and discipline that keep you consistent. And remember, You already know consistency is a superpower. So we'll explore how the top people and athletes use discipline, self-discipline. And you know what the most important word in self-discipline is? Self. How do they use it to stay on track even when the distractions and the temptations pop up and you're out with, you want to hoot with the owls, but how are you going to soar with the eagles if you hoot with the owls? Self-control is the backbone of staying focused on your todays. And it's today plus today plus today that gets your goals. And without it, all the motivation in the world won't get you far. So join us next time so we can lock in and start owning it from the inside out. Para mis jugadores latinos, más línea, más vida. Hasta la próxima recuerda, si quieres ser un jugador disciplinado, comprometido y preparado en el futuro, empiezas esa mierda hoy. Se necesita lo que se necesita y lo mejor está por venir. Until next time, remember, if you want to be a disciplined, committed, and prepared ball player in the future, you start that shit today. It fucking takes what it takes. And the best is yet to come.
That's one small step for man.